Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we are breaking down the shoulder of the pig.
Yep.
My friend Jamie's here. He is a butcher, educator, author, and he works with Westside Beef, who has provided us with this hog. So what are we going to do with the shoulder?
So we're gonna get the shoulder down to the picnic and the Boston butt, but we're also gonna be removing the front trotter and the front hock as well too.
Okay.
Okay.
But Boston butt, it's from the front of the animal. A lot of people make that mistake.
That's true. And it ended up being called a butt because they were taking these and putting them into barrels, which were called butts, and packing them up and sending them back over to Europe.
Insult, I imagine.
I would imagine so too.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So the first cut I want to do, and then I'm going to turn you loose while I'm going to navigate you through.
Okay.
So the first one we do is we like to go through a lot of the joint work so that we're not just taking the saw and cutting everything and everything along lines. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to actually just kind of joint out this front trotter, and I'm just looking for, there's like a bit of an indent here after this bone. You can feel it in there.
Yep.
And there's a really thick tendon in there. So what I need to do is just get through that tendon. So maybe I won't translate too good on camera, but I'll just try to hold it up here. So what I'm looking for is that really thick tendon that I'm getting through into the tendon. And now that just allows me to put a little bit of down pressure on this joint here. So I'm just going to pick it up to make it a little easier, and I'll cut through the bone just like so and round it out.
Trotter.
One trotter.
Excellent.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, and I'm going to let you do this, Glenn, is I want to take off this front hock.
Okay.
So, yeah, so not to humanize it for the points that I'm looking for, but there's like an elbow almost in this section here.
Okay.
Right there. And then if we were to humanize it even more, which is maybe not the greatest thing to do, but I look for the armpit.
Okay.
So I go from this point to this point. And that's where I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to draw and cut down a line over the two. And then I'm going to take the saw and I'm going to cut through that bone.
Okay.
That's underneath. Okay.
So right there.
Exactly. Yep. Perfect.
Line through as a guide.
That's right. And I can hold this side if you like, and we'll just go right through the bone. Perfect, and then we'll just take the knife and finish off the cut.
Okay. Hock.
One hock.
Excellent.
All right, so now what we've got left is the butt and the picnic of the shoulder.
Okay.
And I think for right now what we'll do is we're just going to cut right through the middle.
Okay.
So you're going to go through these 4 ribs that were our marker when we were removing the shoulder from the loin and belly. We're going to go right underneath where this backbone is. It becomes the neck bone here.
Okay.
We're just going to take the saw and we're going to cut right along that line there.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, perfect. So from here, we'll take the knife again. We're going to cut through that line. There's going to be another bone.
Okay.
But I don't want to just keep using the saw to tear through the muscle fibers.
Okay.
I want to make as many cuts as I can with the knife. So
that's the bone there?
That's right. That's the shoulder blade.
Okay.
So now what we do, we'll just get the saw out and just cut through that shoulder blade. There we go.
And then
finish off the cut.
cut through with the knife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Perfect. So now we've got our picnic and our Boston.
So both of these can be broken down even farther.
That's right.
So you take the bones off. I'm going to make sausages.
Yep. So essentially we just need to focus on getting the bones out.
Getting the bones out. Okay.
Yep, and we can do that for sure. So we'll put the Boston butt aside.
Okay.
And we can focus on the picnic here. Okay?
I'm going to watch you.
Sure, sounds good. I'll take the knife. Thank you, sir. So first things first, I'm just going to remove this, these first 4 ribs.
Okay.
And to do that, I'm just going to come under the ribs like so. I'll make a few passes until I can get a better line of sight where I'm cutting. Then I'm just going to remove those first 4 ribs like so.
Okay.
Okay. Those are done. So the next cut that I'm going to work on is, there's just a little piece of cartilage here. The next cut I'm going to take off is something that we don't normally see on the pig, at least merchandise, but I think it's well worth noting and taking a look. This is just going to be just some basic trim that I pull off. This is an extension of the copa, which was on the Boston butt. That's going to find its way into sausage. Okay, it's going to be this muscle right here that I'm focused on, which is the brisket. And it's actually quite sizable on a pig. All we have to do is find the seam. And once I find the seam in the meat, I can seam out the brisket. And this is going to be actually a sizable cut. And it's something that we could actually put into practice and find a utilization for.
So at the grocery store, I have never seen this cut.
No, you never generally would, but once we've got it to this point now, this is like, that's your brisket. I mean, it is a lot smaller than a beef brisket, but I would wager you could probably feed 3 to 4 people off of that.
Treated exactly the same way?
Pork's a little bit different in the fact that I don't know that you would need to cook it nearly as long, but you certainly could put it on some smoke, and it would be just absolutely delicious.
Fantastic.
So there's a brisket. Anyway, that's going to get made into sausage. Side note. What we will focus on is getting this shoulder blade out and into the humerus here. Okay. So that shoulder blade runs right here. And then I'm just going to come in. There's a joint that connects the shoulder blade to the humerus here.
Okay.
Right? So I'm just going to focus on getting to that humerus bone. And I can change my grip a little bit. And now I'm just going to navigate around this bone up to the shoulder blade like so. Okay? And once I do that, I can get around this joint. So now what I can do is I just need to kind of flip it around in order to get underneath that humerus bone and then underneath the shoulder blade. And I pull that bone out. So now I've got a boneless picnic shoulder.
So this picnic shoulder, when you see it in JetNet at the grocery store or at the butcher shop, that's this whole...
That's right. Albeit a bit more cosmetically cleaned up for presentation, but
sure.
Exactly. So they would just kind of jet in it, something like so.
Take the skin off.
Take the skin off, clean up any of these bloody bits and any of the membranes, and then you're pretty good to go. There's not a lot of glands in here, but there's a couple that you should be looking for. Where we took the head off, there's going to be some more of those glands that we were taking off the cheek. We can just kind of cut down just a little bit to remove some of them. Right?
Okay, so I see this gland here.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. There's that one, and then on the other side of the shoulder, there's going to be some extra fatty bits in here that you may or may not find some in. We're okay on that side.
Okay.
And then again, yeah, it's just kind of like focusing on getting this bloody residual blood out. And it's in pretty good shape now. What I will do is I'll just turn it over real quick, and maybe I'll get the skin off.
Okay.
So in taking the skin off, this can be another one of those kind of like things that people think is really easy, and it doesn't need to be difficult as long as you've got a sharp knife. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be trying to make just those long fluid passes that we were talking about, right? So we'll make long fluid passes until we get all that skin off. Skin's off. Now we've got our boneless. Yeah, there you go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, and so then the butt, same
situation. I mean, it's obviously different skeletal structure, so we want to make sure that we're getting these bones off. But I like to actually start by skinning the Boston butt as it is with the bone on it.
Okay.
So I'll just take it from the top here. And I'll just peel off the skin. And the shoulder really is kind of like the perfect ratio of meat to fat ratio for making sausages. So now what we've got is the neck bone and a little bit of that backbone in there. So I'm just going to come in underneath the backbone here and release those bits of the backbone.
Okay.
Okay. And then this is all kind of connected into this neck bone here. So what I can do is I can just apply a little bit of pressure to the backbone as I'm navigating myself around this neck bone, which is like notoriously kind of difficult to get out without leaving a little bit of meat on it. I'm sure that Somebody might have an ulterior opinion of that, but because there's so many like nooks and crannies in the vertebrae, it's kind of tricky to get out without just leaving a little bit of meat. We don't want to make the world's greatest soup bone. That's not the idea here. We like to minimize the damage.
But it is the world's greatest soup bone.
It is, yeah, and you can, of course, if you want, but we'll leave it just like so.
Cool.
So from here,
it's a continuation of this bone.
That's
from
correct.
The other? Okay.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. That's where we split the picnic off here. So we really need to fish out that scapula. So if we were talking about a boneless pork shoulder,
okay,
or the copa, this would be that muscle right here that I'm going to seam out right now and pull it right off that shoulder blade. This muscle right here.
So copa.
Yep.
That is the OG capicola, right?
That is the OG capicola. That's exactly the muscle you want to use for that. So just again, that perfect ratio of like meat to fat and then cured and sliced is, yeah, decadent.
That's when that is done correctly, that is just absolutely amazing to me. I love that.
Oh, for sure. And again, in the hands of a skilled charcuterie master. I don't even know. I think I maybe even said that word wrong, but.
Well, I know there's people in New Jersey saying it's not capicola, it's gabagool.
Oh, right.
So, there, I'll say it for you. It's gabagool.
Gabagool. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
No?
So I'm just finishing out this last bit of the scapula here.
Okay.
In order to get that out. So there's our last bit of capicola. There's a little bit more trim for our sausage. We'll put that in with the brisket. And voila, there's our boneless pork shoulder ready for your sausage.
So we've got lots of bones for soup out of
Yes.
this, which is amazing. So a lot of stock, trotter for stock as well.
Stock, yeah, there is a little bit of meat in there.
There's
So
meat
I'd
in
wager
there?
you could actually make that part of your head cheese recipe.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And ham hock, again, something that is great cured and smoked.
Yep.
And then used in soups.
Mm-hmm.
Cure and smoke this, and then put it in a French Canadian pea soup.
Yeah.
And it's just unbelievable.
Very regionally specific.
Just fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the front shoulder of the pig.
Mm-hmm.
Come on back for the next one, where we're going to break down
The belly?
the belly. So we'll do the belly next. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.
Capicola or butt, picnic shoulder, trotter, pork hock, bones.